Hello and welcome to Atlanta News First Plus. This is Catch Up Quick, where we update you on today's top headlines in Metro Atlanta. Classes in Rockdale resumed this morning after being canceled for the past 2 days. You can still smell the chlorine in the air, and people in the Conyers area can still see it. And that's the reason for that brand new shelter-in-place order. County leaders want you to stay inside during the evening, overnight, and early morning hours. They say air quality readings could, quote, dip to concerning levels. That huge chemical plume was caused by water interacting with a reactive chemical during a fire on Sunday. Right now, there are at least 2 petitions on change.org asking to shut down the facility permanently. Rockdale County Fire Rescue says cleanup is ongoing as crews move more so-called super stacks full of chlorine chemicals. State Republicans and Democrats are trying to figure out what's next, just days after a Fulton County judge struck down Georgia's 6-week abortion ban, ruling it unconstitutional. Atlanta News First's Asia Wilson has more on how both sides are reacting.
Republican State Senator Ed Sessler, who helped write the law, says he feels that the Georgia Life Act strikes a careful balance with clear exceptions, while Democrats say they feel that this state's restrictions puts more women at risk. Now, Amber Thurman's family, a mother who died after receiving delayed abortion care in 2022, is filing a lawsuit. According to high-profile attorney Ben Crump, the 28-year-old had a rare complication from her abortion medication and went to Piedmont Henry Hospital in Stockbridge for a procedure, but says doctors waited 20 hours to operate and it was too late. In a press conference, Thurman's mom says she is haunted by her daughter's cries.
When I found out with the world that this was preventable, that wound that has never healed has reopened wider.
The judge struck down the abortion ban in the state of Georgia, but it wasn't in place to save Amber's life.
And we know the Attorney General's office will be challenging the Fulton County judge's ruling there. And we also know that the Georgia Supreme Court could put a stay on the decision, putting the ruling on hold as the appeals process plays out. In Midtown, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
Governor Brian Kemp is suspending the gas tax across the state. It's an effort to help Georgians after Hurricane Helene. The suspension goes into effect Thursday and lasts until at least October 9th. It will cut gasoline prices by 32 cents per gallon. In the wake of Hurricane Helene's devastation, Governor Brian Kemp has also extended Georgia's state of emergency. 25 people died in Georgia, and the storm caused billions of dollars of damage across the southeast. This week, both presidential candidates are also getting a chance to survey the damage Helene left behind. Atlanta News First's Sarah Hammond reports.
Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to visit Augusta today to be briefed on recovery efforts, and former President Donald Trump visited Valdosta on Monday to survey the storm damage there. Harris's visit comes just a day after President Joe Biden approved a major disaster declaration for dozens of Georgia counties. Governor Kemp extended Georgia's state of emergency through October 9th. The gas tax suspension goes into effect tonight at midnight. The executive order says the storm has, quote, negatively impacted the supply chain of goods and services to impacted areas and the social and economic well-being of Georgia's residents. 2 Atlanta men got stuck in North Carolina after a trip to the mountains. Kyle Vargas and his brother were staying at a house in Creston, North Carolina, and the driveway was washed away in the storm and they had to get out.
We had to climb over trees, we had to crawl under trees, we had to walk through the mud that came from the landslides.
And Georgia Power says they still have thousands of customers without power, including most of Augusta. In Atlanta, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
If you are able to help families devastated by Helene, it's important to make sure that your donations are going to the right place. Atlanta News First has partnered with the Salvation Army Relief Services, and we've made the donation process simple for you. Anything you can afford will help. 100% of your donation goes to the Salvation Army's efforts. The money will help victims here and across the Southeast affected by Helene. The first, and right now only, vice presidential debate is over. A CBS and YouGov poll found that 60% of debate watchers viewed Governor Tim Walz as favorable, while only 49% of watchers found Senator J.D. Vance favorable. But the same poll found that watchers thought that Vance won the debate by only 1%, with 17% of watchers viewing it as a tie. At 1:30 today, we are going to have a conversation with UGA political science professor Charles Bullock on the vice presidential debate, so be sure to be here for that. Also, just a few reminders, you have just 5 days left to register to vote. The deadline in Georgia is next Monday, October 7th. We have information about registering to vote and finding your sample ballot on atlantanewsfirst.com. Just click on the Elections tab on the top of the homepage. Thank you for joining us on ANF Plus, and we'll see you here next time.